Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. We are going to be discussing Local Missing Woman by Mary Kubica. Hopefully I'm saying her name right. This book had me hooked from beginning all the way to the end. It was a page turner for me. I literally, as soon as I put my son down, it was just read, because it was just a continuation of page turning. If you love suspense, if you love complex characters, this book can be for you. It had so much plot twist and I don't even know where to begin. I felt like a detective and I was always wrong. So what is this book about? It's basically about a woman named Shelby. She goes missing and it rocks the town that she lives in. It is fairly a small town. Everyone kind of knows each other, and well, there's a lot of secrets, a lot of hidden things going on in the neighborhood, and yeah, it was it was epic. It kind of reminded me of, I don't know if you guys remember, I mean, I'm a little older, but Desperate Housewives, but obviously with more suspense and more thriller action and secrets and lies, but it was the same concept. I felt like everyone in the neighborhood kind of had their own little secrets, their own little thing going on, and everyone kind of spreads rumors very quickly. So this book covers different types of perspectives. It goes through a little bit of Shelby's perspective, a little bit of Kate, who is another person in the neighborhood, Josh, Meredith, Delilah, and Leo. So once Shelby goes missing, it kind of snowballs into place different things that are happening in the book. It goes through the disappearance of Meredith and Delilah, which was at the time her 6-year-old little girl. Once Shelby disappears, it was a little bit of drama and more suspicion around another disappearance, which was Meredith and her 6-year-old little girl. This crumbled Josh, her husband's world apart. They also have a little boy named Leo, which is 4 at the time. And there's so much secrecy behind different things. I was just in awe. It felt like the plots thickened with every chapter and every perspective of each person going through the ordeal. And it goes back to the disappearances and then to the present tense, which I loved. Mary Kubica's writing is very atmospheric. I feel like it was deep psychological. I felt like a detective, and I was just like, okay, in my mind I'm putting all the pieces together, and kind of like how a detective has a whiteboard, I was literally like, okay, post it here, this person, post it here, this person, and I was just trying to figure out what happened to this lady, who did it. Like it just kept me intrigued the whole time. So what did I love about this book? I loved the pacing of this book. It didn't feel rushed. It felt like it gave you just the right dose of drama in each chapter that kept you guessing. There's so much intense drama, and by the end of it, I felt like, damn, you can't trust no one. You can trust no one. I felt like every character felt raw, felt real. I felt and empathized with each emotion of each character. And it's kind of like if you're not in the situation, you don't know how to feel, but I actually felt every character's emotion through this book. The emotional depth pretty much blew me away in this book. This isn't just a mystery, it's about grief, it's about trust and resilience. And the twist in this book, it kept me on my toes the whole time. And the twists were totally unexpected, but were perfectly earned. It felt like everything fit together perfectly at the end. It was just a surprise element to me. My emotional take on this book is you don't really know who's behind closed doors as your neighbors. You think you know your neighbors, you think you know who they are. Do we know them really? Also, I think this book captured grief and just what Josh was going through when Meredith and Delilah disappeared. Also, the shock that it involves in the communities. Sometimes when we see headlines of missing persons or, hey, have you seen this person? It doesn't really hit home until it actually happens to you. I felt that this book captured grief so well. I felt for Josh during his time of searching for Delilah and Meredith, which are his daughter and his wife. I truly felt bad for him. I felt all the emotions. I felt, his search efforts, and I deeply connected with him. And it also made me think about all these missing people in the world and what their families are going through, and how can we as a community help enlighten those stories. I mean, leaving without a trace, disappearing without a trace is something hard for families to deal with. And it not only affects just the people that are directly close to the victims, but also it makes you question the who, what, when, where, the whys, and the hows. And sometimes these families do not get the answers that they're looking for. And sometimes these families, they either get their family members safe home, or they never find them, or they show up and not in the best way that we think. I think this book captured the desperation very well with Josh. It was truly remarkable what Mary Kubica captured with him. And also, I love the way that the community in this book rallied around finding Delilah, Shelby, and also Meredith. I love that aspect of it because it's something that happens in real life, and sometimes we don't think about it. I mean, we read about it, we see it on headlines, but ultimately this is what communities do. And I feel like if you have a strong community, it makes things feel a little better, especially for the family members. It reminded me of how fragile we all are beneath our surfaces, and how powerful empathy can be if we just kind of understand each other. Also, I love the fact that Mary captured Josh's hope. He never lost hope. He never gave up. And the fact that he kept Delilah's room the same and, kept her pink walls and just kept holding on to that hope that she will turn out, and also Meredith, it gave me a sense of, wow, like this can be someone's life, not just in books. But that man never gave up hope. That man stayed true to himself. He, kept Leo, his little boy, around, and he kept going. And I mean, in a painful way, he kept going, but he still kept searching for them. For me, this book is a 5-star book. And the reason why is because the writing, the emotional impact of the characters, and just the story, it captured everything that I like in a book, and it checked off all the boxes on that department. I loved it. It is a really good read. It was a fast-paced read for me because I literally swallowed the book. I literally went like this and just inhaled the book. It is truly a memorable read. And it also stayed with me long after I finished it. I was sitting there after I finished it and I was thinking to myself, whoa, I literally trust nobody, not even your neighbors. Like, not your neighbors, don't trust anybody, not even with your kids. Don't trust anyone with your kids, period. You don't know who someone really is. This book captured that so well. So if you're a person that loves to be emotionally challenged, if you're big deep into the human psyche, or psychological thrillers that just dig deep, this book can be for you. Have you read Local Missing Woman? What did you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and like for more book reviews and recommendations. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.